MoxStars podcast. I am Menace, one of your hosts, and I'm here with Rampage.
Tell him. Dude, I never do an intro as good as you. That is so awesome. Would you let them know how they can support the show?
Oh, yeah. If you'd like to support the show, you can find the MoxStars podcast, the #1 podcast on the internet for Magic the Gathering, Dr. Pepper, and Clones today.
What?
On YouTube, where you can like, subscribe, and ring that bell for more notifications. If you're watching us on YouTube now, you can see our homepage. You can see that we have 597 subscribers. We're 3 away from that magical 1,000. And if you're wondering why that makes sense, you're just going to have to go check out last week's episode, because I explained it, okay? I explained it. All the way throughout,
science.
Through and through, it's science. You can also support us on all major podcasting platforms as well by giving us a 5-star review. And since we haven't got proof of more 5-star reviews, I'm still in space. And you can bring me back down to Earth by posting your 5-star review in the Discord server. And hey, guess what? We have a Discord server with the raddest community in the world. So jump on there. All pepperheads, all lovers of the 23 flavors, the nectar of the gods, and the coolest dudes in the world. Just gonna flat out say it. It's a known fact. If you're part of the MoxStars podcast Discord server, you're one of the coolest kids at school. You can also support us via Patreon by becoming an official Pepperhead. For $3 a month, you can support the show by becoming an official Pepperhead. Have your name turned Dr. Pepper Red on the Discord server and get a shout out like Gabe, Mac Oyen, definitely Jeremy, Mono Greg, Revenlift, UWP Quirt, Will Rule, Poolboy Barry, maybe Anthony, Ryan G, and our newest supporter, Adam. So thank you all for your support. All right, on this week's episode, we are talking about things and stuff. Stuff and things, Dr. Pepper, Don Cheadle, Space Jam 2, the Tasmanian Devil, probably the Warner Brothers in some form or fashion, but we're also talking about clones. But before we get into that, there's this new legendary creature out there in the wild. He appears without any warning. And his name is the Dr. Pepper Man. And he has an official page. We do not know who this man is. Nobody seems to know who this man is. But if you haven't seen some of this content floating around in your feed, hopefully this procs it. And then the Instagram algorithms, the TikTok algorithms now catch on and show you the Dr. Pepper Man. But Rampage, you brought this to my attention. How did you find it?
A buddy told me about it. He goes, how have you guys not talked about the Dr. Pepper guy yet? And I'm like, I didn't even know about this guy. But ever since then, I'm looking like behind me at all. Like, is he going to show up? I can't. I wish I had, Dr. Pepper branded clothing or something to show that I'm part of his community, I hope he sees this and becomes part of our community, just supporting the 23 flavors.
It's almost like you can't be branded. Like you just have to be out in the wild. And he finds
it's so subtle. It's like I don't know, some like he was born with this, There was Dr. Pepper in his mother's IV at his birth.
Yeah. He's cool as a cucumber and he just appears. And it's like he's been standing there the whole time and you just never noticed him. And then all of a sudden he reaches in his pocket, he pulls out a Dr. Pepper and he hands it to the person on camera, and then and it's like he disappears, like he was never there. It's the weirdest thing.
But has always been there.
Yes.
He's in Incan ruins etched on the wall. He's part of Native American lore. He's always been. He's a part of.
There are hieroglyphs
the
that
greater,
speak of
larger cosmos.
Yeah. So check it out. The official Dr. Pepper Man. This is the official Dr. Pepper podcast, but this is the official Dr. Pepper Man. Go check his stuff out and you'll know exactly what we're talking about. His presence on camera. It's unbeatable.
So good. This is what we need to be reporting on. So I think we're doing our part promoting this.
Oh, yeah. And do you know what else we should be reporting on?
Tell me.
The new MoxStars tokens that are coming to a playmat near you, because we're launching them. We just purchased these. We're going to have them in our hands soon. You can check these out after this episode releases. I'll post them officially on the Discord server for everyone to feast their eyes on, but you're getting an early sneak peek here. First, in tandem with Death Milk Designs, we were working on zombie tokens. We're working on trigger tokens. We're working on food tokens, and we're also working on, finished work on a Monarch token. So if you guys have ever played the Monarch before, on screen right now on YouTube, you can see our new Monarch token. It is stunning, and it's going to be crazy in foil. It's got, it's hard to describe, honestly, clearly a monarch in a throne made of a city. Like there's just buildings and everything. He has just rested on top of them in a royal purple robe and like fine lace jewelry around him. And at the bottom is a MoxStar, the gem itself. It truly is regal and awesome. And hopefully, if you think it's super rad, you can reach out to us on Discord and we'll get some of these in your hands. Or if you join us for Wednesday Webcam Wizardry, you can earn pepper points and redeem them to get some of these. So join us there as well. You can find out more about that on the Discord server. Our next token, we figured that, when we were looking at like what tokens were super popular, we decided on this one because you know that if you are playing this type of deck, you need about 1,000 of these. So it's, and you know, once I say what the token is, you're going to be like, yeah, I do need 1,000 of these. And that is our Goblin token. So if you're with us again on YouTube, check it out. It is so sick. Hopefully this encourages you to go support us on YouTube. But it's a Goblin perched on a little bit of an outcropping of rock and small bonsai trees growing up around it. And in the back, there are feudal era Japanese castles. And in the back, a blood moon. And the goblin is perched on there with 2 neon blue laser swords. So it's kind of crazy, awesome, and rad.
It's very cool. I have a goblin deck, and for it, I don't use counters. So if I make like 3 goblins, I don't put a counter on it to denote that there's 3. I use physical tokens so that my board can get wild and crazy, and I make sure each token is unique, and so none of them match. They're all different, and I'm so excited to add this to the arsenal. That moon highlights. It's so cool, so good.
Pops, and it's gonna pop in foil. And again, join us our Wednesday Webcam Wizardry to redeem some pepper points to get your hands on these, or you can just purchase them directly from us. So if you think these are super rad, join the Discord server, pop on, and find out how you can get some in your hands. Awesome. Super sick announcement. Thanks for sticking with it. All right. In real Magic the Gathering news, there was something that happened on November 10th that is worth noting, and that is Wizards of the Coast decided to update us with a banned and restricted announcement. So in Standard now, if you weren't aware of the current state of Standard, Vivi, Ornithir from Final Fantasy is now banned. Screaming Nemesis is now banned. Prof's Eidetic Memory is now banned. So these 3 cards were all part of the most disgusting, overwhelming deck that has ever pretty much existed in Standard's history. This was every Grand Prix, every major event had roughly 60 to 65% of the field being represented just by VV decks, just by Izzet alone. And we've never seen numbers like that in any other format when it comes down to it. If any deck is taking more than 35% of the field, Wizards of the Coast used to take a really hard look at it and make emergency bans. It's just that it doesn't promote like healthy play patterns. It doesn't promote a healthy format in general, because it just screams that one deck dominates the rest. So VV.
Oh, I'm not a Standard stan. I have some knowledge to gain here. Were these all a part of the same deck? Question 1.
I would say that Screaming Nemesis was probably a sideboard card for this deck.
Okay.
But Eidetic Memory and Vivi were both part of the same deck. Yes.
Because just being in the Magic community and hearing about things like this, I always question when they do bans. They seem to ban a lot of cards. I guess my question for you is, could Vivi have been the sole ban and it would have brought it back into a fair place? You know, it might still be strong. We might still get to abuse these cards, but is it without the Vivi? Are we turning on other stuff like with the Cauldron?
Yeah, honestly, the Cauldron was pretty much exclusively for Vivi. So if you're unfamiliar with the deck out there and you're listening to this, Vivi in combination with Agatha's Soul Cauldron would result in any creature that would get a +1/+1 counter to be able to have Vivi's pay 0 to add X mana or X is a power. So there's a lot of really dumb stuff you can do with that. There's a few combos out there now that were there that you could infinitely basically create zombies that would all have counters on them and then use the ability. So it was that was more of like a fragile combo. But Vivi itself was, being under a Soul Cauldron with Eidetic Memory would usually result in you firing off a bunch of, Winter Night Stories or something like that. And then you could put the counters on a new creature to be able to generate even more mana for your main phase 2. So that's kind of where it's at with Profs. And it was being used in a few other decks that were using creatures that had like ETB, draw 2, discard 2. And then there's the detective. It's like a Steamkin detective or something like that. But it's a 2/2 flying vigilance that enters the battlefield, draw 2, and then discard 2 unless you discard a creature or something like that. So you just have a 4/4, or if you played Profs this turn because it enters and draws a card, replaces itself, which is also for 2 mana is pretty crazy with the upside here. Then you'd have a 5/5 flying vigilance on turn 3 or turn, whatever. So it's honestly, it's been really good. And then also with the Regent, the one Regent from Tarkir Dragonstorm, the blue one that has the 4 mana, draw 3 cards and then discard 1. So with that, Profs was a great way for you to be able to push through a stalled board state or a stalled game. And then Screaming Nemesis was like the antithesis to anti-aggro or like control decks, where if you were playing Boros aggro, right, and that was your deck of choice, and you were playing Screaming Nemesis, a lot of the time you would just bolt your own Nemesis to shoot someone in the face so they couldn't gain life and get out of reach. That was a big strategy with this card, was to bolt lightning or to burst lightning your Screaming Nemesis and then zap somebody, so that way they couldn't gain life. It was like, for lack of a better description, in horror movie terms, you snip your victim's Achilles tendon. Like, you just snip, and then they're going nowhere. So the only way to battle these strategies was to gain life, and Screaming Nemesis just hard counters that. So permanently for the rest of the game. So yeah, it's those 3 cards being out of the format is going to do so much for the health of the format. Luckily, a lot of the content I consume for Standard is like Swayze and CGB, where they don't really play these types of decks, so I don't see it a lot. But I do see the results for Standard tournaments around the country like pretty often come through my feed, and it's just crazy. Dude, it is insane how many decks are playing Vivi, or how many people are just playing Vivi in general. Yep. Is it Cauldron? So
Yeah. I think if you saw the numbers that Vivi's putting up in any game, you would be like, why aren't they doing something about that? Why has it taken this long to do that? If you were seeing certain strategies in any card game or any video game or whatever, like you put up numbers like that, like they would patch that pretty dang quick.
Yes. So that brings me to my next question for you is, I want to know kind of how you feel about this. Wizards of the Coast normally has been pretty good about stuff like this. And we knew we knew going into the summer when Final Fantasy came out that VV was a problem. I think everybody sort of knew that.
Yep.
And even in the first 2 or 3 Grand Prix, yeah, it was already over 60% of the pool of the entries. So it's pretty obvious they knew that this was a problem, but they didn't ban it because if they banned it, they would reduce the sales of Final Fantasy.
Sure.
Sure.
Of course.
So how do you feel knowing that Wizards of the Coast might have been and knowing that, like
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I appreciate when there is a problem, there's an issue in the format, and they take a second. They don't impulse ban or make changes. So when it was already a problem, as you had mentioned, I think that's good. It kind of forces creativity and ingenuity, and like you give players time to be like, okay, this is the best deck. What's the deck I play now to beat that? How do I overcome this meta shift? Or, maybe hop on the train and play meta. But when it's been this long and nobody's figured it out, there's no beating this, it seems. We've been at that 60% or whatever for however long. They should have at least maybe had a plan, having a change in the chamber. So maybe nobody iterates and make something that improves the state of the format, that they can enact a change more readily. They can be prepared to take action.
Like you were a Yu-Gi-Oh player back in the day, and you might still be hiding, have your secret Yu-Gi-Oh tendencies. But are there any instances of Konami doing something like that, where they were just they just let something live for far too long and knew it?
So they always took a very different approach. That's why honestly, that's why I asked my first question about, could they have just banned Vivi and done away with the other 2 bans? In Yu-Gi-Oh! And other formats, you would get they would ban everything but the problem. They would ban all the things that helped the problem to try to make the problem less severe.
I thought that. Here's the thing. I thought they were going to ban Cauldron. That was going to be.
Sure.
That's what I thought was coming, because I figured, I figured that they would want Vivi to stay alive. They would do everything they could to protect their darling baby.
Yeah, Cauldron was
the instigator. Yeah. It's about to rotate out, but
it was 40 years ago. Why are we? Yeah, that's fine. Ban that.
Yeah. So it's Cauldron creates some pretty interesting play patterns and strategies that you can make. But Cauldron was almost exclusively and only being played in combination with Vivi. So I think if you banned Cauldron, I think you would have been. Vivi, yes, is very good, but it eats a get lost. It eats removal.
Sure.
So it doesn't have ward, doesn't have anything like that. So maybe that would have fixed it.
Is there any business Cauldron still has? Is there other Cauldron strategies that are floating around out there?
I could see it with Insidious Roots,
sure,
in standard. So in standard, Insidious Roots is still very much a deck. Abzan. So it could be that, right? Because it moves a creature from your graveyard to create a plant, and then gives all of your plants that ability. So maybe there, but I haven't really seen it elsewhere at all.
Sure. These are fringe. They're playable decks, but they're not game breaking, right? It's almost a fair use of the Cauldron. Yeah.
It's a huge setup. It's like when we talk about Commander in bracket 3, it's the accrual of resources, the accrual of permanence to create to create overwhelming advantage. That's what Insidious Roots would do. You would have had to mill certain creatures to your graveyard. You would have had to put Insidious Roots on the board. You would have had to have Cauldron on the board and have been generating creatures in order for the plants to use the abilities. So where Vivi was just put Vivi under Cauldron.
Sure.
Creature gain ability. Produce many mana. So that was kind of why. But there are a couple other formats that are also getting some bans. Pioneer is getting Heartfire Hero banned. I think when this got banned from standard, it was very obvious that it was just pushed. It's causing a lot of turn 1 deaths. So yeah, you can pump this to crazy to the moon with things like Colossus Hammer, and then like sack it, throw it in someone's face, and it deals 22 damage. We have Legacy is having Entomb banned. Been long enough. Nadu Winged Wisdom is also eating another ban. Congratulations,
Very
Nadu.
funny.
Record bannings. Nadu Winged Wisdom. Pauper High Tide is getting banned. So this is actually pretty funny. I think that
it breaks my heart. I love High Tide. High Tide is so cool. Those big explosive turns out of nowhere. I don't know what it's doing in Pauper. It's not a format I play, but damn. What a loss. That sucks to see.
Well, it seems that whatever format Wizards of the Coast gets their hands on, they kill it. They ruin it. And then if you're playing historic on Arena, you have Force of Negation is banned, Frantic Search is banned, Mystical Tutor, Entomb, and Dark Depths. So they do not want people having fun on Arena, it seems, either. And then Brawl, they're making some pretty serious changes to Brawl. Strip Mine is being banned. Mana Drain is banned. Chrome Mox is banned. Ancient Tomb is banned. They just added all this stuff with the special guest sheet. So
they just don't want you to be a bully. Apparently,
they don't want. Go ahead.
Those are fun.
Yeah, they don't want you to be building commander decks, like hyper efficient commander decks in Brawl. They don't have game changers in Brawl, so there's no way to regulate it. That's it's kind of hilarious, but then they go to explain everything. Mono Red was also a deck that was contending against Is It Cauldron, and Screaming Nemesis was there, blah blah blah, Pioneer, blah this, blah that. Anyway, moving on. We have been hosting Wednesday Webcam Wizardry we did it for 1 full week. And tonight, the night of recording this, we actually just had another session of Wednesday Webcam Wizardry. And to be honest, it was so much fun. Like the first night, I recorded the one game, but remember how we had those audio issues before? Well,
no.
Yeah. So I didn't get the audio on the game, and it just looks like a bunch of people moving cards around on giant mouse pads. So it was kind of a letdown. I would love to go through and narrate the whole thing, but you guys listen to me talk enough anyway. There's no. If the market has shown anything, you guys aren't interested in that. So
but yeah, the webcam league, Wednesday Webcam Wizardry is going super well. I think the amount of decks we're seeing, like the creativity, people are getting to flex. The games we played tonight, people messing around because we reward cool stuff.
Oh yeah.
Creative deck building, awesome plays are what gets rewarded. Yes, you get points for wins, but if you can do so in a stylish, flexy fashion, more power to you. You're not only going to get points for the victory, you're going to get points for the original blend, and you're going to get points for flavor from your opponents. So it's going really well. We had some awesome games tonight. There was at one point I put an extra turn spell on the stack, and that extra turn spell got copied, and then that copy spell got forked. And the
Nice.
Controller of those spells, shouts out Tordeth, gave those extra turns to each player. So we all took extra turns, but in reverse order. And then we had to go back to playing in regular order, and it was so confusing. But it was awesome. It was so much fun. It was so cool. Just whose turn is it? Can I go after you now? I had no idea how this went. It was a lot of fun. We saw a Halo fountain. That was exciting. Last week, we got to see my Amanatu deck do some stuff. We saw some infinites with the white card from Lord of the Rings. Whenever you make a token, you can put a 1/1 on something.
What?
Anyway, there was an infinite combo, and the infinite didn't go infinite. He made like a very small amount of creatures, which I just thought was cool. He could have made 1 billion, and he only made 100. We're having fun, and so what we're doing is there's still time to get in. You can earn points at any time. You can get those sick tokens. If you win these prizes, you get these points. We stay in a week for actually like a couple weeks. And what we do is we have a prompt, you build to that prompt, and then during the next session, which is next Wednesday at the time you're hearing this, there'll be a new rule set. So for our second week, we are introducing hybrid mana. So the Wizards proposed change, we're going to put the hybrid cards in our deck to see what we can do, to see what we can brew and see what we can break. And again, we're just messing around. It's a Brewers League. Like that's what I wanted. That's when Menace and I talked. That was our vision for this, was let's see cool shit. Let's get the community involved, and let's build, let's brew. And we're even like, I don't know, it's not competitive enough where we're like throwing ideas at each other. Like, you should play this. This would be sick. I want to see that in your deck pop off.
Yes.
So
yeah.
It's a lot of fun. There's more room for more people. The more people we get multiple tables going. It'll be awesome. Bring your deck. Chances are you bought a precon once upon in your life and you still have that commander as the face commander. Just bring that. Just play that. That's wonderful. As long as it's bracket 3, there's not more than 3 game changers in, or if you got to swap 2 cards out, great. Do that, bring it here. We don't do deck checks. We're not super serious about this. It's a gentleman's agreement, if you will, and an honor system. We're smashing games. We're brewing. We're having fun.
Yeah.
Is there anything I missed? Do you have any highlights from your game?
Yeah. So I built Marith, Will of the Wild. It's the first face commander. Like Commander 2013 is when they released this deck, or they released this commander. And I've loved it. I've loved the card for so long as like a dinosaur enrage enabler, right? So I built dinosaurs with the enrage mechanic being like the thing.
Very, very bracket 3, fun, powerful, dinosaurs, cool, and strong, apparently, I hear.
Yeah. I always thought that like Marith's most valuable ability was the ability to like pay X, remove the counters, and then deal X damage to any target. And it turns out that's not. It turns out that's not the greatest ability. He also has an ability that allows him to split himself into many different creatures, or many smaller elementals. So you can pay X, remove a counter, and create an XX elemental, right? And so there was this game, I was deep in it. This is actually, so I built this deck for the Wednesday webcam wizardry, but then literally the next day I took it to a local, and I was sitting there playing it, and this deck is so much fun. It's legit one of the most fun decks I've ever built. But I was in bad. Like, I was the target all game, and so I had a Dork, an Esper Sentinel, and Marith, and I cast Growing Rites of Itlamok. So then before my end step, I split Marith by 1. So it only had 1 counter left because I had to shoot something. So 1 counter left. I create an elemental. So now I have 4 creatures. The thing flips. And so flips over. And now I can tap her for 4 green mana. And I just go, you know what? I think I just want to save this counter. So I pass it. The next guy kills Marith. And then it comes back around to my turn. And now that I have this land that can produce so much mana, it's pretty late in the game too. I top deck Molten Echoes, and I go, oh my god! If you guys don't know what Molten Echoes is, this is or not Molten Echoes. It's Mana Echoes. Sorry, Mana Echoes. So Mana Echoes is a 4-mana enchantment that says whenever a creature enters, you may add an amount of colorless mana equal to the number of creatures you control that share a type with it. So I cast it, and then I recast Marith with 7 counters, and then I just started splitting it up. I only had 1 mana to spare, so I tapped it, and I only had 2 green mana floating after I used this 1 mana to split into the elemental. So you create the elemental, you have 2 elementals now, so you get 2 colorless mana. Use 1 of that, split another piece off of Marith, right? So now I have 3 elementals, and then it just grows exponentially. So I split them up as many times as I could. Turns out that I had 38 mana and 2 green floating, and I had a Finale Devastation in hand. And so I X'd his 38 for an Ouroboros out of my deck. And that's how I didn't even win that game. I didn't even win the game. I actually couldn't even win because someone had me dead to rights with a Blightsteel Colossus. So kind of that was just the braddest play. I'd never seen Mana Echoes actually work. And then I was totally shifted from like, I saw new value in Marith. I've been playing the deck for years, and I finally saw new value. So it was really, really a fun thing that I've discovered with the deck.
You mentioned not winning. I mean, at that point, who cares?
Yeah, it was like, oh, you Finale Devastation for 38 and didn't win? It's like, yeah, it doesn't give trample. So yeah, it was great. It was super awesome. So yeah, and then the Wednesday game, the one game I was able to hop on for last week, I ended up winning with a Polyraptor weird thing happening. And I ended up, obviously, Polyraptor sneezes and turns into 50 Polyraptors.
Yep.
Yeah.
Especially when you're playing Enrage, the deck, yeah. Oh, you were doing Wrathful Raptor stuff, I think, right? Did I hear that correctly?
It was, yes, Wrathful Raptors, or whatever it is. It's from the new Pantlaza deck from Lost Caverns. Yeah. So when it entered, and then all this damage started flying around and stuff like that. So yeah, it was pretty cool. So Wednesday, Webcam Wizardry, hop on, play some Magic with us. This next week, since we're doing hybrid mana, I'm throwing Indoraptor into my Marith deck. It qualifies. The one hybrid symbol on it is Golgari, so I can actually use it. It qualifies for the rule change.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's thematic, and it fits our prompt. So I assume you get some pepper points for that.
Oh, baby.
You can buy some MoxStars tokens.
Let me redeem them for all these tokens in my hand. All these tokens. Come get some. They're super rad. All right. This week, we're talking about clones. So thank you for sticking with us so far through this episode. We went through and we chose our top 5 clones. Because a little while back, someone in our community asked us to do a little tier list of clones, and we didn't quite tier them out to say like this is S tier, this is A tier, and all the way down to F. But we went through and we wanted to both highlight 5 clones each that we feel, are maybe overlooked or provide value in ways that embody our play styles. I think that's a good way to put it. For sure. We see the strength.
What is your criteria when you're looking at clones? What are some of the things that draw you to one or the other? So just for background, we each did a list, and I think we had one card that overlapped. So we obviously care about very different things, and I want to hear your input.
Like when I look at a clone, I'm looking for, I don't know, I'm not necessarily a reactive player because I do have aggressive tendencies where I just want to punch through. And I feel like the clones that I choose are synergistic with strategies that I like. So some are generically good. I will say that a couple of mine that I put on my list are just really generically good and maybe just overlooked a little bit. But I think that I'm looking for either value plus, like it enters and it gains an additional ability or gains a +1/+1 counter. I don't know. But the most important thing for me is that it enters as a copy of any creature, like any creature on the battlefield or any permanent on the battlefield. That's what I'm looking for in a clone. I want my opponent's things.
Yeah, I try to find like what I can do with it. I think I probably, to my detriment, put extra value in things that can enter as a copy of multiple things, not just a creature. I value that heavily.
Yeah.
Are you all right? Do we need to? You want to retake that?
No. You're good. For all of those watching on YouTube, you're going to see me put my hand over the mic and look off into the distance. My cat just wants all of the attention in the world right now. And so she's just batting a ball against the wall. If you can hear the little jingles in the background, she's just sitting there looking at me, hitting the ball against the wall. Just,
Sure.
Yep. So,
Yeah, quite the athlete, I assume. Yeah.
yeah. Yep. So that was what was happening.
So my number 5 starts off. We're gonna kick it off with a little bit of edge. It's a 6-drop, Sakashima's Protege. So cool for so many reasons. So first off, Flash, insanely important. Second, Cascade,
What?
wonderful. I don't care if it cascades into a talisman. I'm taking multiple game actions. I think that's fun, exciting. You never know what you're gonna get. I'm not playing this in my cEDH list. I'm playing this in the decks where I'm trying to have the maximum amount of fun, and Cascade lets me do that. And it enters as a copy of any permanent, so you're paying 6 mana for anything.
That entered the battlefield this turn.
Yeah.
So
6 mana. For anything, it can be a land, it can be an artifact creature, whatever. Don't matter. I want one too. You get a cool thing, I get a cool thing. Did you spend your whole turn getting your busted commander? Cool. Me too. I want one. Your Atraxo looks good. I'll take one. That'll be awesome.
I feel like this should have been better when Dockside was around.
Yeah, it pays for itself. Yeah. And you get to Cascade. But I think it's fun. I think it's cool. It does everything I wanted to. Plus more. It's got that fun little edge flavor, as Menace mentioned earlier. It does more than just copy. And as I said, I highly value that modality. I'm just going to keep up. Everyone thinks I got Rift in my hand because I'm holding up so much mana, but really it's my Sakashima's Protege.
Yeah, ominous amount of mana. All right, I am actually taking a low-hanging fruit here, and I figured I'd do it at 5 so that I don't look like a total dweeb when I pick it at higher, because it is a very powerful effect. But my number 5 is Molten Duplication and the like Heat Shimmer and what's that other one?
Is it Twin Flame?
Twin Flame, yes. That's what it is. But no, Molten Duplication is the most efficient version of that. So for 1 in a red, you get a sorcery that creates a token that's a copy of target artifact or creature you control, except it's an artifact in addition to its other types. It gains haste until end of turn, sacrifice at the beginning of the next end step. So this doesn't meet one of my criteria. I like when it is able to create a token copy of anything, right? Or like of your creature, of your opponent's creatures, or anything like that. But the upside of this is that it is a win condition, like with creatures like Dualcaster Mage. So Dualcaster Mage and Molten Duplication produces infinite Dualcaster Mages with haste, so you can swing out and win. But you can also Molten Duplication something like a Goblin Engineer or a Goblin Welder, and then sacrifice the copy that is now an artifact to get something out of your graveyard. So it's a pretty cool effect that you get to, like, has multiple uses. And it's also repeatable ETB for something that, like, I think more and more as the game is developed and grows, ETB effects get stronger and stronger and stronger. How many Titan effects are out there now? ETB or attack. Well, this is going to give you both in that same turn. So Molten Duplication is a really, really powerful clone effect. It's a copy, a token, but it is like a clone of whatever you control. So,
yeah, that props a discussion we had earlier of what is a clone. Now, I super consider Molten Duplication as a clone. I think that's a phenomenal pick. The other things we discussed or brought up, like, is Mirage Mirror. a clone? Is Shifting Woodlands a clone?
Mm-hmm.
A little.
Can be.
It's got clone tendencies. Yeah.
Now I want to change my list, man. I totally forgot about Shifting Woodlands. That's such a good
Shifting
card.
Woodlands. Pretty cool.
Damn.
I'm going to talk about a card I think other people think are good. And I'm a little upset on just for one reason and one reason alone, and that's Mockingbird. Mockingbird is X and a blue for a bird bard that flies. It's a 1/1. You can have it enter as a copy of any creature on the battlefield with mana value less than or equal to the amount of mana spent to cast Mockingbird, except it's a bird in addition to its other types, and it flies. Now, I think Mockingbird's good. I think the most famous case use is when you Ranger Captain. You can go get this, and then you can cast it and have any other creature on the battlefield. It's a copy of any creature on the battlefield.
Yep.
It doesn't have to be your opponent's. It doesn't have to be yours. That's good. It'd be busted in half if it could do like an artifact or enchantment, so I won't wish for that. The only thing I wish for is when I am doing a Finale of Devastation or an invasion of Ikoria, I wish this could enter as a copy, but it doesn't work that way. You can't plop this onto the battlefield. You can't reanimate it even for one, and have it enter as something else. So when I'm creature tutoring to the battlefield, you can't Eldritch Evolution Neoform into a copy spell into this. This is typically, if you're playing a higher powered deck, this is one of the clones you start with because of that Ranger Captain effect, but it doesn't work with other things in the deck that you might also be doing. So it doesn't work with the Eldritch Evolutions or whatever. So that's why I have it at 4. I think it's a 1 in many people's hearts, but for me, I always find that hang up when I'm tutoring my deck for my Eldritch Evolution and I'm not quite sure what I'm going to get. I'm like, I'm going to get a Mocking. No, I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm going to get something else.
No, yeah. This has replaced a lot of people's, when this came out, I think it replaced a lot of people's phantasmal images because of the Ranger Captain tutor ability. So, it's really great. It's such a welcome addition to cEDH, to EDH. It has such a high ceiling, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
And it has the floor is like a 1 mana 1/1 flyer that can get through for Timna.
Timna beats. Yeah. I'm going to pay a blue for your Esper Sentinel.
Yeah, exactly.
That's worth it.
Yep. Yeah, seems pretty good. All right. My number 4, this one, I think I'm going with this. I might have switched my list around, but I'm going for Activated Sleeper. So, Activated Sleeper, we're going mono black here. So this is 2 and a black for a Phyrexian Shapeshifter. Came out of the Dominaria United Commander decks. It's a 0/0 with flash, so you can grab this thing with, Nethroi or whatever for, it's just 0 power. So you can grab it for free out of the grave with this. Just adds to your creature count. But it has flash, and it says you may have Activated Sleeper enter the battlefield as a copy of any creature card in a graveyard that was put there from the battlefield this turn, except it's a Phyrexian in addition to its other types. So the reason that I chose this is number 4, one, it has flash, instant speed. This is reactive. So you can steal something died, your opponent sacrifice something that they plan to bring back or whatever. It's like, okay, after you sacrifice this, I'm also going to get a copy of that thing. But this is actually a huge combo piece with Protean Hulk, with its. If you guys have never heard of Protean Hulk, welcome to cEDH. This is a classic combo. But Activated Sleeper coming out, more recently. How long, Dominaria United? It's over 2 years, I think.
Over 2 years. It was about, September of 23.
Crazy. All right. So Protean Hulk says that when Protean Hulk dies, search your library for any number of creature cards with total mana value 6 or less. Put them onto the battlefield, then shuffle. So with Activated Sleeper, when Protean Hulk dies, you grab Activated Sleeper. And whatever else adds up to 3. Activated Sleeper comes in, usually a sack outlet, something like that. Activated Sleeper comes in, becomes a copy of Protean Hulk, and then you get to spin it again. because if you're playing Viscera Seer or Corpse, whatever the guy is, our favorite Teom card, I can't remember.
Carrion Feeder,
yeah, Carrion Feeder. There you go. You can sacrifice it and then go get 6 more mana value worth of creatures, and usually that includes usually in your first search you're grabbing Activated Sleeper, Grand Abolisher, and then Carrion Feeder, and then in your second search you're grabbing your combo, whatever combo it is to end the game. So I think this is really slept on. Right now it's like less than $1 to get one, but it has so much utility in Commander. Even if you're just playing mono black, you're not playing Protean Hulk lines. I think there are enough instances where something dies or something goes to the graveyard as a copy of any creature card in a graveyard that was put there from the battlefield this turn. So through sacrifice or whatever, I think that this can still be useful in your like bracket threes. Doesn't have to be a combo card.
I imagine that use case where you're complaining with the rest of the table. You're like, we got to deal with that Drannith. Will someone kill that Drannith? And then one of your opponents Drannith, and you go,
you fool!
I have my own Drannith.
You've activated my trap card. Get it? Activated Sleeper. I did it. Did the thing. All right. That's my number 4.
Moving to my 3, I got an Imposter mech here. I think this got a lot of hype initially, and now it's kind of fallen off a little bit, but it's still near and dear to my heart because I actually enjoy the fact that it can come down. We don't know what it is. It works with artifact tutors. Once it lands, we get to pick whatever we want it to be, and then it's no longer a creature unless we ask it to be. Mm-hmm. The crew cost is relatively low. You can finally do something with your creatures that have summoning sickness. You can tap them to crew this if you want, but that's such a niche case. What I actually care more about is creatures are a lot easier to kill than artifacts, it seems. You're not going to lose this in a board wipe. And it's 2 mana. 2 mana, any creature. Cool. You paid 6 mana for your creature. I'm going to pay 2 for the same one.
Yeah.
The downfall here is it is creature only, but it's a protected creature, which I think gets it some value.
I never really saw it that way. So it's actually enlightening to hear that, to be like, no, actually it's like Swift reconfiguration, right? I even there were times when I would play Swift reconfiguration as a protection spell because I really wanted the effect on the battlefield, but someone would be like targeting my creature to kill it. And it's like, well, it's no longer a creature. Schwap. It's a vehicle now. So that makes a lot more sense. Imagine that has a tap ability. Well, it's an artifact now, so you can totally tap it this turn. You don't have to wait. Steal someone's devoted druid.
Fun niche case. Yep.
Yeah. So it can go infinite in that case. Congratulations. All right. We're on 3? We're on 3. Okay. So my number 3, this is a nod to one of the greatest CEDH players that I've ever known, ever played against, and that is it you? This is for Atlas. This is a nod for Atlas, and that card, my number 3 clone, is Gigantoplasm. So this is 3 and a blue for Shapeshifter 0/0 that says you may have Gigantoplasm enter the battlefield as a copy of any creature on the battlefield except it gains X. This creature has base power and toughness XX. So when you read that, you're like, oh, it can like shape up or shape down or whatever. This is almost exclusively designed to turn into a 0/0. You pay 0, becomes a 0/0, kills itself, and then you get some explosion effect, right? So we talked about like Protean Hulk being something that can die, and this can do that as well. So it can become a copy, kill itself, and you get that like death trigger. So for 4 mana, it seems like, oh man, why would you want to do that? Well, Atlas was a notorious Kenrith player, so it was never really that he was ever paying like 4 and a black for the reanimation. It was usually through an accrued board state that allowed him to reanimate something for 1 black, get the ETB, kill it, pay it again, get the ETB again, and then rinse and repeat for added value or for combos. So before, this just became like a really flexible piece. And when he was in the top 10 of the world or top 5, I think at one point he was like number 3 or whatever rank in the world. He was playing Gigantoplasm, and people were like, "Why? Why are you playing this?" And then if you ask him, he will go through and he'll explain every single line. Unfortunately, my brain not so big to understand all of them, but he had it down. And so this is a nod that something that might appear like it doesn't have value, or something that appears like maybe bad. I think the text on this card doesn't say that it's good or like that, but if you can see the value in it, you can make it a good card. Magnify that ability. So that's why it's my number 3.
I'll be honest, is the first time I have read that card. My brain jumps. Was he doing like Dockside stuff with it?
Oh, that was way back. But yeah, he was doing. I don't think he was even playing Gigantoplasm when Dockside was there. I think it was Gigantoplasm for things like Cloud of Fairies or something like that. You know.
No, sure.
So yeah, had to find Dockside Light.
My number 2, pretty boring. We all know it. It's great. We get it. Phyrexian Metamorph. You don't have to pay a blue mana. You can pay 2 life. That's cool. This is how we creep closer towards the modality piece I valued so high. Mm-hmm. Artifact or creature. Pretty sick. No other riders on it. It doesn't had to have entered that turn. It can be anything, and kind of like the Imposter mech, it's a bit of a surprise. Except now this is an artifact or creature once it's in your deck. So should you be tutoring for one or the other, boom, you got what you wanted. So it's good. I don't want to spend a lot of time on it. I think it's a phenomenal choice. I think it's the premier choice. I think if you're building for the greater cEDH meta, this is your go-to, just because it's like good the most often.
Yeah, this is a 1 ring. Like if your opponent beats you to the 1 ring, this gets you there too. So like it has that upside where it can be that, and it still gets the cast trigger. Obviously getting to 3 is easier than getting to 4. So this is. It has that modality, and you can play this in any deck once Wizards of the Coast makes that rule change, right?
Yeah, let's hope not.
Yeah, okay. All right. But the one thing I will say, the ceiling with this that I really enjoy and I've been finding more and more is I like obviously Birthing Pod's a great card, but I've been using this as my 4 for a lot of my pod lines now, and that can sort of mess things up. It can sort of help you skip certain steps too. But it enters as a copy, so it takes on that mana value, but it can become anything, right? It could be a boat. So yeah.
Copy a 3 to get you in to start your combo if you're ready to push. I like it there. So, that seems really cool.
Yeah, and it's has a lot of utility when you go to Eldritch Evolution, because it is still a creature. It's still an artifact. You could transmute artifact into this if it suits your needs. So yeah, really great versatile card. Great selection. My number 2 is also an artifact. It's Cursed Mirror. So this is overlooked 100%. Like when this originally came out in freaking somewhere down the line. Oh, this came out in the Strixhaven Commander decks. So that was the first time we ever saw it, 2021. And it's 2 and a red for an artifact that taps for a red mana. It says, as Cursed Mirror enters the battlefield, you may have it become a copy of any creature on the battlefield until end of turn, except it has haste. So like we talked about earlier, ETBs, super great. Attack triggers, also super great. This will allow you to get both. The thing is that when it becomes a creature, it doesn't retain the ability to add mana. So there's that little downside, but it does stay on the battlefield after the turn ends and does turn into a mana rock. So Most of the time, you're not using it for that. You're just having it become. It's the lowest floor, or it's like Molten Duplication can only copy a creature you control. This is pretty much the lowest to the ground it gets. Like we have Flesh Duplicate. Yes, we have Phantasmal Image that can become copies of other creatures on other battlefields. But outside of those two, this is the next thing where 2 in a red. So you're outside of blue too, where it can be more versatile in like, I'm a Naya guy. I play Naya pretty much all the time, or some variant that includes red and green and white. So it's like Curse Mirror is one of those cards that like gives me access to an effect that I like, even though it's only temporary. Sometimes that's all you need. You just need the one turn. So Curse Mirror, super overlooked. I lost to it one time. I was playing Zakama and I played it. I cast Zakama, left it on the battlefield like an idiot, right? And then someone cast a Curse Mirror targeted and then became a copy of Zakama. And oh, well, you cast the Curse Mirror. So because you cast it, you get to untap your lands. So he was like, oh, this is pretty sick. Like, awesome. I'll tap, float all the mana, untap. And then that gave him just enough mana to be able to run his line and win. So that scar will ever live with me. It will always live with me. So Curse Mirror, super good.
It's a sick scar to have. Something we should have probably highlighted, and I guess now is as good a time as ever. All of the clones, at least all the ones on my list, you're waiting. There's a juicy target. You're like, oh, I can't wait till they cast a Con Sphinx. I can't wait until they put a Thoracle on the stack. I'm going to flash my thing in and put my own Thoracle on the stack.
Sure.
I can't wait. You know, is there going to be a One Ring? I'll get a One Ring too. You're holding those. With Cursed Mirror, you are highly encouraged to do it for value. You don't need the sweetest, juiciest thing. You need something that says when this creature enters or when this creature attacks, and then for the rest of the game, you got a mana rock.
Yep.
And I think that's cool. You can push this early. You can push this late. You can just do it for value. That's good. That's wonderful. That's a slept-on pick. I'm glad to see that in your number 2.
Oh, yeah. All right, let's have it. Your number 1.
I don't want to hear anything about this. I value modality so high. I'm going to take this because it gets me anything. Clever Impersonator, I'd pay 100 mana for it. Clever Impersonator, 2 blue. You may have Clever Impersonator enter the battlefield as a copy of any non-land permanent on the battlefield. Give me that all day long. There's no frills. This only does exactly what it does. So no, it doesn't fly. No, it doesn't have flash or cascade. I can't pay Phyrexian mana to get it out. But it's anything. And I'll play this in any deck for no reason. I don't care. It can go in any deck for no reason because it just does good things all of the time. Your stuff, their stuff, doesn't matter. It copies anything and everything. And I will take no negative feedback on this being my number 1.
You heard it, folks.
Awesome.
Do not get in those comments and do not leave your feedback.
I won't read them. Can't read.
Can. If he could read, he would be so upset right now. No, I think it's great. The upside of getting a Smothering Tithe, the Rhystic Study, enters the battlefield as a copy of any non-land permanent. I don't know, maybe a Portal to Phyrexia, something like that. Then in those bracket 3s, like where that is the upside. It doesn't have it's good at turn 4, I think, and it's good, and it has the evasion sort of like built in. If you choose to go for an enchantment, choose to go for an artifact, it can have that evasion that you're looking for that you value with like Imposter Mech. So I think that this is like, plus the ceiling is just, the ceiling is whatever. It can be a planeswalker. That's probably the one thing that we haven't seen out of any of our clones so far, is that none of them can become a planeswalker.
What was the one? Is it?
It's Sakashima's Protege could, actually. Yeah, Spark Double could.
Spark Double is the one that says creature or planeswalker, and I was going to put that on my list, but it might as well just say creature, because who's copying a planeswalker?
I do.
Turns out Clever Impersonator can.
Turns out if you time it well with Sakashima's protege, you can do that as well. I totally forgot about that. You can also get a Gaia's Cradle with Sakashima's protege. So, I love the Clever Impersonator for how versatile it can be. But it doesn't have flash.
Okay, Menace, take us home.
All right, I'm taking you home because this is the one I swear by the most. This card, it will live in every blue deck that I ever make, and nobody seems to understand why or value. The best clone in all of Magic the Gathering, it is Stunt Double. In Commander, Stunt Double is unparalleled. This, for 3 in a blue, you get a 0/0 shapeshifter creature with flash that says you may have Stunt Double enter the battlefield as a copy of any creature on the battlefield. And you might be thinking, wow, that does almost next to nothing. But the important part, if you missed it, is that you can cast it at instant speed. So there are so many like instances where I'm holding up mana on the end step before I go into my turn, I will copy this thing, or I will steal your value engine or your most valuable creature. There was a time when I was playing against an Elish Norn deck, like Mother of Machines, and they cast Elish Norn and then they put like a creature on the stack that was the 3 mana spirit that enters and exiles any target non-land permanent with mana value 4 or less, and if it were leave the battlefield, you create a spirit with mana value equal to the whatever, apparition, or I can't remember the name. There's so many Magic cards out there, folks. Come on, I can't remember all the names, but they went to put that on the stack, and I was like, man, that would really screw me over right now if I didn't have Stun Double. So I cast Stun Double, had it enter as a copy of Mother Machines, and then everybody's ETB effects were turned off. So, and then it just completely stunted their strategy. You can take their best creature. The thing that I have to drive home with this is instant speed. Like, Sakashima's protege is just 2 mana out of the range for me. Like 6 mana, sitting on 6 mana is a lot, right? When it comes down to how I want to move throughout the game. I actually want to generate value and move with intention. But if I leave 4 mana floating, it's not so conspicuous. Like if I leave 6 mana just untapped, it does look ominous, right? But 4 mana is a little less ominous. And then once you start passing priority and you don't see anything you want or whatever, flashing at the end step, steal someone's Bloom Tenders, copy your own thing. Like, it just provides so much value. And if you're still like, well, Menace, you haven't made a case for it yet, just play it. Just play the card. And you're going to find out how much value it does actually generate in a world where creatures are continuing to take the format over. So, go just put it in your deck, or come play me. Come play me on Wednesday nights. I will show you, and I will beat you with Stun Double as a Menace guarantee. How do you feel about Stun Double Rampage? Have I played it against you before? But you see it on my list, but I'm not sure if I've played it against you.
I think it's funny that other people have picked up. Is this in all your list? Do you swear by it? What's the deal? I'm glad we got to talk about it today. Yeah, I think it's good. If nothing else, what I see most commonly, I play Stunt Double in a deck, is opponent casts Scary Thing. If opponent untaps, we die because of Scary Thing. Cool. Okay. On my opponent's end step, I'm going to flash in this, and now you die on my turn instead.
What if I had Scary Thing?
Yeah. That is the greatest use case, I think, for this. And the niche applications, the flexibility, especially when you get into lower bracket stuff where people are playing weird things, and this can just be that niche out of nowhere card that people remember. I think it's very cool.
Yeah, it's that's exactly it. You see Scary Thing, you want Scary Thing. Now you can have Scary Thing at instant speed. So it before
You want
your opponent gets the effect, or before your opponent's able to like really act on the scary thing, you can take the scary thing and have one for yourself. It's good.
Really?
Trust me. All right. If you have a favorite clone out there that you did not see in our list and want to mention it, feel free to leave a comment in the YouTube section below, in the YouTube comments below. You can also find us on the Discord server, and you can plug your favorite clone in there, and we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it all day long. Between opening a restaurant and talking about Magic cards, you know where my priorities are at. They're they're on Magic. So jump on the Discord server. Super awesome community again. Super rad dudes. Super awesome Wednesday night webcam wizardry going on over there. Any final thoughts, Rampage, before I sign us off?
This has been a podcast of plugs, and I think we did a phenomenal job. Dr. Pepper Guy, Star Tokens, Wednesday Webcam Wizardry, Clever Impersonator. Like, what haven't we covered? We just knocked it out of the park, and I think it's time. We're going to end on top. This is perfect. This has been great.
All right. Yeah. Nice. I can't say it any better than you just did. So you can also support us on Patreon by finding us on by becoming an official Pepperhead for $3 a month. You can become an official Pepperhead and have your name turned Dr. Pepperhead on the Discord server. Yeah, and make sure you subscribe, ring that bell for more notifications on YouTube, and support us on all of your favorite podcasting platforms. And that's pretty much it. All right. This has been the MoxStars podcast.
Let's sign off here. Me and you. Some people say we're clones. So this was the time. We look identical now that you get to see our face on camera.
All right, 1, 2, 3, robot. And we're out. Peace.